As musicians, we spend thousands of hours perfecting our skills, reaching for the flow state so we can perform at our best. We work in isolation, judging ourselves ruthlessly, and the inevitable rejections are hard on the ego. Even if you have a spiritual practice, the daily grind of building a life in music can leave you feeling disconnected and unsupported. Hi, I'm Angela Beeching, and I'm here to teach you something that changed how I view all this. This lesson comes from the work of therapist Phil Stutz, who created a set of tools. These are short visualizations designed to help you shift your emotional state in real time so you can get back into forward motion. I've found his work to be life-changing, and I've adapted many of his tools specifically for musicians. The field is the larger conceptual frame that puts all the tools in context. Up until the time I learned the field from Phil, I was using the tools piecemeal. This worked, but there was no larger frame to help me connect the spiritual dimension of the tools with my everyday reality. When Phil introduced the field, that all changed. It gave me the overarching picture I'd been missing. So if you've been operating as though the universe is indifferent or actively working against you, the way I used to, that's understandable. Our profession and our culture both encourage cynicism and competition, but that's not the whole picture. The field helped me connect my daily practice to my purpose in life, and I'd like you to try it with me over the next 20 minutes. The field is a philosophical framework. It's not a religion. But in the same way that the Ten Commandments offer a code for moral living, I think of the field as a game plan for being in right relation with the universe. The field offers us a way to live an honorable life and to connect with the forces needed to become the artist you came here to be. There are 4 laws for this, and I'm going to ask you to stay with me through all 4 because each one builds on the last, and the experience of doing them together is what makes this a framework for living. By the time we're done, you'll have a way to connect your musical life with a larger sense of purpose and a frame for balancing your inner work with the demands of the profession. That's what the field makes possible. So what is the field? It's a powerful, mysterious, archetypally feminine force. You can't control it or get on top of it. What you can do is be in right relation with it. The field knows why you are here. It wants you to succeed, but it can only reach you when you're in right relation with it. The field is a way to live life in conversation with the universe. Each of the 4 laws comes with a tool and a mantra, a short phrase that captures the essence that can serve as a reminder. And to set the stage for these, here's how Phil Stutz diagrams the 2 realms we live in and between. So universe 1 here is the material world. It's your daily grind, the logistics of time, money, all the stuff of ordinary life. Universe 2, on the other hand, is where we find the imagination, intuition, access to the flow state, and what Phil calls higher forces. As humans, we live with our feet planted in universe 1. As musicians, we're constantly reaching for universe 2. Here's the thing, the 2 universes need each other. Without the practical world of universe 1, higher forces up here can't affect change in the real world. And without the intuition and imagination of universe 2, our practical world down here is without soul. The field is what operates between the 2 universes. It's what makes the connection possible. And Phil Stutz has given us a map for how to work with it. The field is diagrammed as a baseball diamond, and we're going to go around the bases. I think of first base at my left hand, second base at my forehead, third base at my right hand, and home plate at my gut, what my Tai Chi teacher calls your dantian, just below your belly button. So hold on to that sense of connection to the body as we go through each of the 4 laws, and carry that sense memory of each tool forward as we go, so that by the time we reach home plate, you'll have an embodied sense of the whole field. You don't have to believe in any of this for it to work. Just try it for a week. So here we go with the first law of the field, left hand, non-attachment. This is particularly relevant for musicians because we all tend to make our next important audition or performance into a make or break, do or die situation. And putting all this added pressure on ourselves only hurts our chances of doing well. So in this first tool, we're going to practice letting go, not of the work, not of the preparation, not of the desire to perform well, but of that white knuckle grip on the outcome. Let's do it. Non-attachment. I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze so you can tune into your senses. And take a deep breath. Step 1, feel the attachment. Picture something that you are attached to. Maybe it's winning an upcoming audition or job. Let yourself feel how tightly you're gripping onto and clinging to the desired outcome. Feel as though your entire life depends on this, as though you're hanging from a ledge or clinging to a high branch. Feel this in your entire body. Step 2, let go. Make the decision to let go of your attachment, that desperate need to win, and say to yourself, I give up this attachment, and now I'm willing to give up everything. With this declaration, imagine yourself falling backward from a great height, but it's a gentle fall. As you look down, you see you're headed straight into the surface of the sun. As your body meets the surface, it is subsumed and you become one with the sun. Step 3, infinite energy. You are now a radiant body of light and energy eternally flowing out of itself in all directions. And say to yourself, all I ever truly possess is this infinite flow of energy through my body. As you look around, you see you are surrounded by thousands of other suns, and you reach your rays out to them, and they reach their rays out to you. You are a part of a matrix of suns. And here's the mantra, I'm willing to lose everything. When you're ready, open your eyes. Now, if you found this challenging, no worries. I did too when I first tried it. Non-attachment seems to go against everything we are taught in music. From the beginning, it's all about pleasing teachers and parents, then audition rankings, competition placings. It's no wonder we're results obsessed, or that we fantasize that the next big win will finally qualify us as a VIP musician and exonerate us from pain and hard work. It won't. This tool offers an alternative, one that I find real comfort in. It reorients us toward what's actually true. Yes, we want to do well in that audition, but the real goal is lifelong artistic growth. And when I keep my eyes there, the audition becomes what it actually is, one colorful event in a much longer story. So take a little piece of that sense memory of non-attachment, of the letting go, with you as we now move up to second base. So here we are at the second law of the field. We've moved up to the top of the diamond, right? And this next one is just as relevant for musicians. Phil calls it microtransactions. These are small, everyday exchanges with other people that shape the quality of our lives and our work. This can be a real struggle for musicians because our profession is rife with hierarchies. This leaves many musicians obsessing over their status amongst their peers and who they need to impress. In that frantic compare and despair mode, we lose sight of something essential, that every interaction and every person matters. We're talking about the clerk at the grocery store, your neighbor out on the sidewalk, the postal carrier, and the bus driver. These are far more important interactions than you realize. When you sow the seeds of genuine interest and you're caring and kind with others, you end up improving your own week, your month, your life. And when this becomes a practice, you can use it in much more complicated relationships, the ones where it doesn't come easily, because how we treat each other ripples out. Let's do the tool for microtransactions. And once more, I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze and picture someone in your life right now that you're having a conflict with, some sort of tension. This might be in your personal life or in your work life, and in your mind's eye, see the two of you facing each other. You both kneel down on the ground, and you're close enough so that if you lean forward, just your foreheads will gently touch. As I picture this in my mind, I can actually feel the coolness of the other person's brow just barely grazing mine. And say to that person before you, God bless you. With that, the mother archetype appears above you both. She, of course, has nothing to do with your actual mother. She is archetypal mother energy. You might think of her as Mother Earth or Mother Nature. For some, she is Mother Mary, or you might simply think of her as the benevolent force of creation itself. She is powerful, generous, loving. She's looking at you with approval and pride, and she is shining a light that encircles both you and your colleague. Within that light, any remaining resentment or tension between the two of you is dissolved. And as you look out, you see hundreds of people encircling the two of you in concentric rings, spreading outward as far as you can see, all watching. The whole world is watching in awe and marveling at what had been conflict and resentment just a few moments ago has now been transformed into love. And here's the mantra: every person is sacred. When you're ready, open your eyes. Now, this tool, I have to say, was also a struggle for me. So again, if you found this a challenge, you're not alone. All of these tools get easier with practice, I promise. What's hard about this one isn't the visualization itself, it's the genuine humbling it requires. As musicians, we're trained to be self-sufficient, to compete, and to hold our ground. Asking for help can feel impossible because it means softening something we've spent years hardening. When I finally let that happen, something changed in me, not only in how I felt with challenges, but in how I moved through my daily life. The change didn't happen overnight, but it started with asking for help from the archetypal mother. Because when you do, something opens up. It becomes easier to be genuinely present with every person you pass on the street. Why? Because every individual is part of the same life force you're trying to connect with. When you treat people as sacred, you strengthen your connection to higher forces. And when you don't, you weaken it. Carry that openness with you as we move now to the third law, commitment. And this one is a little different. It's not a guided visualization. It's a practical approach to dealing with time and action in universe one, in the material world. So this is the law that actually builds the bridge between the two universes. And when you make a commitment here and follow through consistently, that's what attracts higher forces and the flow state of universe two into the actions you can take in universe one. So to illustrate, bring to mind a musician who practices out of fear and compulsion. And now bring to mind another musician who shows up because they can't imagine not going deeper into the music. The external behavior might look identical, but the internal experience is completely different, and so is the playing. The question this law asks is, why are you showing up? Is the answer coming from fear and ego, or from something that feels more like a calling? This is about connecting your daily actions to something larger than your ego. The first law we did, non-attachment, asked you to release the ego's grip on outcomes. This third law, commitment, asks you to release the ego's grip on the doing itself. The practice is simple. The night before, you decide what you work on and when the next day. You set a clear intention. So let's say you promise yourself you'll practice 10 to 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, and you know the key repertoire and issues you'll focus on. You've got that laid out. And let's say you also promise yourself to do your booking emails at 4:30 for 1 hour. Then you show up at the appointed time and you do the work. No debate, no delay. You're not waiting to be inspired. You just get to work because it's time. And this is the key. You judge what you did, not by the result it produces, but by how faithfully you followed the intention. Why? Because you can't control how the audition committee votes or whether the presenter will choose to hire you. So why show up when there's no guarantee? Because you're committed to becoming the artist you came here to be. Things may or may not work out the way you'd hoped, but you're in forward motion either way. And here's the mantra: I will never quit. I'm committed to commitment. What I love about this approach is that it helps me focus on the here and now. I do the work and I go to bed at night knowing that I'm moving forward. And because I'm in forward motion, I spend less time beating myself up. I'm not ruminating over what went wrong in the past, nor am I fantasizing about a perfect future or dreading an upcoming disaster. For me, keeping my commitment to the work brings a sense of trust in myself to do what needs to be done, and trust that the universe will meet me halfway. So carry a piece of that commitment with you as we head into home base. For this last law of the field, we're looking at self-restraint. And again, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Step 1, deprivation. Bring to mind a habit you indulge in compulsively. It could be food, drink, drugs, sex, shopping, news, social media. We're all addicted to something. Whatever your substance of choice is, whatever habit you've got, bring that to mind and feel for a moment what it's like to really have that craving, to feel like it's the one thing that you need and you need it now. And just imagine that whatever you're craving is not available, that it's never going to be available, because nothing in the practical world of Universe One is ever going to fill that void. Step 2, emptiness. In your mind's eye, take a deep look inside yourself, here into that dark void. We're here together. Stay calm, just breathe with it. For me, I picture a black hole of unfathomable depth. Look into it and see if you can't find within the very depths a point of light, and breathe into it. As you breathe, it appears to slowly grow in size as it ascends toward you. And as it rises, you realize it's not a point of light. It's actually a circle of fire surrounding a black sun. Keep breathing. Keep watching it ascend. Step 3, fullness and giving. As it gets closer, feel the energy of the black sun expand and reach into you to fill the void. You become one with its warm, limitless energy expanding inside you. Feel this energy overflow and surge beyond you into the world, becoming the pure light of infinite giving. And here's the mantra: deprivation is creation. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I want to tell you, the first few times I tried this one, I was so hung up on what indulgence to name, what bad habit to call myself out on, that I didn't get anywhere. But finally, I looked more closely at my own behavior and I found I was addicted to negative self-talk. It's not that I craved it consciously, but it's what I always turned to instead of dealing with uncomfortable truths or conflicts with others. Whenever things didn't go as planned, everything and anything would become an opportunity to beat myself up. This is the tool that I've used to stop that and change my relationship with myself. So now we've done all 4 laws of the field. And as I recap each one for you, feel into what came up for you with each one. So first law, non-attachment. I'm willing to lose everything. Remember, this is your left hand tool. Second, microtransactions. Every person is sacred. Feel this one at your forehead. Third is commitment. I will never quit. I'm committed to commitment. Feel this at your right hand. And last, self-restraint. Deprivation is creation. Feel this in your gut. And hold those sensations of all 4. Lean into the field. Here's a favorite quote that captures what we're after. W.H. Murray writes, "The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too." All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. As Phil puts it, doors open more easily, synchronicities magically appear, life feels easier, you're more in flow. That is what living by the 4 laws makes possible. Not a perfect life, not a life free from pain, hard work, or uncertainty. Those 3 things never go away. But a life in which you're in right relation with the forces that can help you become the artist you came here to be. A life you can be proud of. And one where the flow state and higher forces, your creative fire, becomes less a rare accident and more a place you know how to find your way back to. Welcome home. And when you're ready, open your eyes. If this landed for you, leave a comment and tell me what came up. And subscribe below so you don't miss what's coming next. See you next time.